This month's episode of the QA is brought to you by Renier Arms. Hey guys, my name is Dave Tim. Thank you very much for checking out this video. This is the QA April 2018 edition, and we are publishing this on the very last day of April, and that's kind of how we're generally kind of running the QA. The QA is going to be towards the end of the month, so make sure you get your questions in every month. You can leave a comment in any one of the videos below. You can email us to the email address shown right there, which is theqa@gunsandtactics.com. Or you can leave a comment on our other social media platforms. So we have a few questions that we'll get rocking and rolling in just a second. But before we do, make sure if you are in the Northwest region of the United States this summer, make sure you check out TriggerCon. TriggerCon is July 26th through the 29th in Bellevue, Washington. And it's going to be an amazing event that is open to the public for the industry. You're going to see a ton of new and innovative stuff, and all your favorite companies are going to be there. This is put on by the guys behind Renier Arms and the amazing crew that just puts on an amazing event. So if you're going to be in the Northwest region, Bellevue, Washington, July 26th through the 29th, 2018, TriggerCon. You can Google TriggerCon for more information. But if you see us there, we're going to be there. Please stop and say hello. We'd love seeing our viewers, and we're going to have a great time. So let's get rocking and rolling right into it. So this is from Demond Rushing. Request for best gas length on a pistol barrel that sets at 10-inch, or should I just go for an adjustable gas system? So on a 10-inch barrel, whether it's an SBR or a pistol, you're pretty much limited to a carbine length for a 5.56, assuming that's what you're talking about. And a carbine length gas system would work just fine. Now, do you need an adjustable gas system? Well, number one, it depends on if the gas port of the barrel is oversized or not. If you're buying a good barrel from a reputable manufacturer, hopefully that gas port is not too big to where it's over-gassed. However, if it is over-gassed, you could benefit from an adjustable gas block, or if you're going to be shooting suppressed, you could benefit from an adjustable gas block. Now, what I'm going to be doing for my next SBR barrel build, my primary SBR is probably getting to the point where it's due for a barrel here pretty soon. I'm going to probably go with an 11.5-inch barrel. I just like just a little bit longer dwell time. I think it just adds reliability. Now, a 10.5-inch can be very reliable. I have an Noveske, I've had LMT, I've had Colts, and they all run really well. But I like the 11.5-inch just to give that extra reliability with dwell time, and I can do maybe a whole nother video on dwell time. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be checking out the new Seekins adjustable gas block that has the lever. And what I like about that is it allows me, without any tools, to switch from shooting unsuppressed, put a suppressor on, and I could reduce the gas with just that flick of the lever and not have to worry about carrying an Allen key or anything like that. Now, the only other options that were on the market were like the Noveske switch block, but that was only available with their barrels for the pinned version. There was another company that had like a larger Picatinny gas block with like a plug similar to a piston system, but that was kind of big and expensive. So this new Seekins one, I'm pretty excited about. I don't have my samples yet, but they should be here hopefully soon so I can get a review, but I'm really hoping that works out well. So I think that'd be a really good setup for a suppressed rig if you wanted to go back and forth from suppressed or non-suppressed. Otherwise, the bootleg adjustable carrier has really impressed me. I've been using that on my current SBR 11.5-inch gun again, and when I throw the suppressor on, I change that carrier to a suppressed setting, and it does make a noticeable difference, and it's been working great. So that might be another option as well. All right, from Frederick Goldby, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but a comment about I'm looking great. Well, thank you, I think. But thank you. Whiskey Sierra wants to know, optic recommendations at CQB distances for us guys with an astigmatism. Red dots look like huge fiery sunburst balls to my eyes. Just stick to irons, 1.5 ACOGs, prism optics, question mark. Thanks, Dave. First off, thank you for watching. Great question. And I do run into a good amount of students who have astigmatism, and for whatever reason, every eye reacts a little bit differently to red dots. Some people see like a comma or an inverted C or a blooming dot. And I'm thankful I don't have an astigmatism, so I still see red dots as red dots, but I know it's a real issue for a lot of people. So CQB distances, maybe that's 0 to 50 yards for you, 0 to 25 yards or whatever. Couple of options. Number one, yes, you could look at some of the low magnification ACOGs. The only thing that I find limiting with ACOGs Some of the lower end model, lower magnification models are really, really nice, but the only downside is they are expensive. So if you have the budget, certainly not a bad option. On some of the other models, eye relief can be an issue too. They're a little bit sensitive to that. So if you can get over the budget, if you can get over that eye relief, if it's set up for you, an ACOG is not a bad option at all. Great optic, especially like the 1.5Xs that you mentioned. Additionally, the Prism optics, I know Leupold was making one for a while. Vortex, I believe, is also making a Prism optic. And basically what that means, for those of you guys unfamiliar with that, is that it's kind of like a red dot. It doesn't have any magnification, but instead of an LED that's presenting a dot that you see, it's actually a reticle that's etched or in the glass, similar to what would be on a scope. So you're seeing a reticle, but it's a 1X. So those, if those work well for you, try to find a quality one of those. Otherwise, believe it or not, some people that I've talked to say that the aim point, they see a bloom, but with the Trijicon MRO, they don't. Or with the Vortex, the new, they call it the Huey, I can't remember the actual acronym, but like the HM1 or something. It's kind of their box-looking holographic type sight. I've actually been hearing good reviews of those. People are using those. That might be one to look into as well, just to see if that works better for your eyes. So those are all good options. Otherwise, there's going to be another question coming up about low power variable optics, or LPVOs, and that might be an option for you as well. So like a quality 1:4, have it at 1x for your CQB distances, and then if you ever do find yourself at distance, you can crank it up. And in my opinion, a do everything rifle, a do all rifle, a one purpose rifle, whatever, a LPVO is the way to go. I just think that I've been running one for a long time, even before it was cool to do so, and I do think that the LPVO is great, and they've never slowed me down at distances or anything like that. For CQB distances, I should say. All right, this one is from Isaiah Ashcraft. I'd love to see a video on budget optics. I love my Aimpoints, EOTech, Trijicons, and one Leupold, but for those that can't afford those types of optics, what optics, red dot, magnified rifle scopes, would offer rugged reliability and quality while still coming in at a price of $100 to $400? Well, here's the thing. There's no free lunch. And with optics, you're generally getting what you pay for. Now, for red dots, there are some nice options on the market that don't break the bank for people that are on limited budgets. Now, would I call them a duty grade optic? Probably not. If it's going to be a duty grade patrol rifle, home defense rifle, serious competition rifle, whatever, I would try to always recommend saving up the money and getting a quality optic. But if you're looking for a red dot, Vortex has some great options that will not break the bank. Plus, they have a great warranty, and they have I just put one on for a friend, a Crossfire, I think it was, and that's basically a micro clone, and that even takes Aimpoint micro mounts. Holosun, they manufacture some red dots, and those are getting good reviews too. I mean, online, several people have tortured the crap out of them, and they're running really well, and they're a budget-oriented red dot. Primary Arms is noted for making some budget-friendly red dots that have been holding up as well. So there are options for the red dot market that you can do. Now, as far as the low power variable optic market, you can look at the Vortex Strike Eagle, which is generally like a $200 to $300-ish optic. I don't know exactly what street price is, but that's a 1 to 6. The downside is I've seen a few of them go down in classes. I've heard other people having them go down. They've had tracking issues or illumination issues or whatever. So you're definitely kind of getting what you pay for there. I have a Strike Eagle. I personally just put it on a 22 just so I don't have to worry about those issues. Otherwise, if you're talking more about that $400 price point, you can get used stuff. You can find some good deals. Also, the Steiner PX4i, I think is the model. It's P4XI or PX4i, one of the two. You can find some of those on sale. I just picked up a couple of those last fall. They were on sale for under $400 each. So I bought one for myself and bought one for a friend. And that's a great 1 to 4 optic. The glass is really good, especially for the money. For the money, it's like, this is an amazing piece of glass. But nonetheless, comparing it, it has daylight visible, red dot, type looking appearance because it has a center dot that is bright enough to see during the day. It's not like super bright like an Aimpoint, but it's a nice piece of glass. It does well, it holds well, it's been tracking well. So that is an option to look at. Otherwise, you can look at some of the imported stuff, but then keep in mind the quality might not be there. So great question. Now, we do have a couple more questions, but before we do, I got to give a shout out to Renier Arms, who sponsors the episode. And thanks to Renier Arms, they're going to send a prize pack to one lucky question asker from this month's episode. And truth be told, it has been just a hectic month. I don't know what the price pack is, but the good folks at Renier Arms are going to take good care of you. Renier Arms has all of your favorite stuff. They're known for carrying all sorts of innovative and high quality stuff for your AR-15, and now they're expanding to carry all of your favorite parts and accessories for precision rifles, Glocks, and more. Additionally, if you order a lot of stuff, then you need to join the Apex Club. The Apex Club has a low yearly rate of $79, and you get free ground shipping and exclusive availability and discounts on all of your favorite stuff from Renier Arms. So if you like the big box store type convenience of your membership club, but yet free ground shipping on all of your orders, plus exclusive deals, exclusive availability, make sure you check out the Apex Club from Renier Arms. Right back to it, we have a question from Eric Scherer via email. Dave, love the YouTube channel. You do a great job of explaining things with an answer that doesn't assume everyone is a tier 1 operator. Really appreciate it. Well, hey, I really appreciate the feedback. We try to have an open dialogue. My philosophy is we all can be learning together. And truth be told, I was an operator back in the day. Yeah, I was a dispatcher briefly. You know what? I would answer the phone, operate the phone, transfer calls, transfer different things. You know, I was, if they say push 0 for the operator, they got me. Does that count? I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about. No, probably not. No, I was never a tier 1 operator. I'm just a small town street cop, but I have a passion for firearms, passion for sharing my knowledge, so I do appreciate that. But here's your question. My question is, what are your thoughts on using a 1-4 or 1-6 illuminated scope instead of a red dot for a dual gun that will serve as a range toy, home defense, mid-range hunting rig? Thanks for your response. And this kind of ties into the question earlier. So my personal belief on a dual gun, a patrol rifle or whatever, a low power variable optic is the way to go. I've been running LPVOs before they were cool to do so. Like right now, pretty much all the cool guys are running LPVOs. I've been running one for a decade. I put a Trijicon TR24 1-4 on my patrol rifle way back when, and I had a tier 1 operator instructor make fun of me. Oh, it's silly. How are you going to clear a building with that? How are you going to blah, 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 blah? And I end up being either the top or second shooter of that class. The speed didn't slow me down at all. On 1X, it's just as fast as an aim point, and on the Trijicon in particular, which still has a soft spot in my heart as one of my favorite LPVOs. Are there better? Yeah, but I still like the simplicity of it. It's just a bright green triangle, so when I'm outside, it's just this bright green, basically like a red dot, but yet it has a magnifier built in, so I can zoom into 4 and use the tip of the triangle and make hits out to 300-400 yards, no problem. So I'm a firm believer of an LPVO on pretty much all of my rifles that I have. I don't have them on my SBRs yet. I might someday. Right now I'm running a red dot on my SBRs just because those are generally kind of more task-oriented guns. But for sure, run an LPVO on everything. Now, additionally, I also sharpened my teeth with LPVOs and 3-gun. I would run a 1-6 or a 1.7 to 10 I was running for a little while, or a 1 and a 6.5 on my 3-gun rifles, and that's where you really learn the benefits of having that low power variable optic. You know, in 3-gun you're shooting anywhere from 5 to 500 yards, and at 1X it's just as fast as a red dot. I don't care what anybody says, it's just as fast as a red dot. Pow, 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 pow. Then you have your 500 yard shot, you zoom in, you can use your ballistic reticle if you have one, or know your holes and make your hits, and you really see the versatility of the optic. Additionally, I've been in situations where I've been on a perimeter or on a call or whatever, and my subject or potential subject might only be 50 to 100 yards away, but I really want to see better. I want to see an object that might be in their hands. I want to see the immediate area of focus. So having some magnification is a benefit. It doesn't necessarily make your target easier to shoot, but it does make it easier to see, which kind of does work together. So I'm a firm believer in LPVOs. Absolutely. 100%. All right, this one is from Operator Clyde. My BCM gas block looks slightly canted. Is that okay? It could be. So the gas port of your barrel is this big. The gas port on the gas block is this big, if you look at it. So the gas block could be slightly canted, and you're still not going to obstruct the gas port of the barrel most of the time. Now, if it's severely canted, yeah, it could be an issue. But if it's just a little bit, like it's not like 100% perfect, I probably wouldn't sweat it if the gun's functioning fine. Additionally, the other thing to look for is if the gas block is canted, that could mean that the gas tube going into the receiver is kind of angled one way or another. And if this is causing excess wear, because where that gas tube comes into the upper receiver, the gas key does interface with that gas tube, and if that is causing some issues where it's damaging the tube, or it's kind of nicking up the carrier, or kind of causing additional binding or anything like that, yeah, it could be an issue. But if it's just a little bit, like 100.5% versus 100%, it might not be an issue, but it certainly could be. So a couple more questions here. Cliff, where is the best place to put a light on my rifle? Great question, and I'm going to share a couple. Maybe I'll do a future video on this topic too, but in my opinion, like the best spot for a rifle light would be 12 o'clock. Because if you think about it, it's going to probably be below your red dot. Most of the red dots and scopes out there were running high enough due to the comb of the stock to where you could have a light at 12 o'clock. And then it's not going to have any shadowing issues. It's not going to be obstructed. So if you go to, the worst place would be 6 o'clock. Like the old Surefire vertical grips with the light built in, I didn't like those because you used, put that on a rest or whatever else, you're blocking your light. And 6 o'clock is a bad spot for a light in my opinion. So to avoid 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock would be the best. The downside is most people that run lights at 12 o'clock are using a pistol light with the little toggle switches, which the concept was really good. The downside is the range and the throw of those lights just doesn't match a rifle capability. I'm a firm believer in having a nice bright light, a scout light, the new 1500 lumen scout light. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those. The Streamlight ProTac, the 2-cell model, I think it's like 600 or 800 lumens. That's a great light. It's held up really well. They're durable. The 1000 lumen version, I really like the light. It has good throw. It's bright. Unfortunately, I've been hearing a lot of issues about durability. Now, I know they have a really good warranty, but I prefer to have a good quality product that I don't need to use the warranty. The Surefire Scout lights in general are just really, really good. So, those I generally mount, depending on if I'm left-handed or setting up for a right-handed shooter, I should say, is generally around like that 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. And I'll set it up so I can hit it with my thumb, or some people prefer a pressure pad along that 12 o'clock rail, and then they'll have that light up high. But having that light up high prevents shadowing issues from you seeing the shadow, distracting the shadow. And also, if you're using it on a rest, you keep that light up. My dream product would be a company that makes a light that is designed to go on the 12 o'clock rail, that is super bright, has rifle brightness, rifle throw, ambidextrous availability for turning it on and off, and maybe even have some sort of a front sight integrated into it, but it's made for a rifle, not taking a pistol light and adapting it to a rifle use. That would be an awesome product, but so far nothing really exists. But that would be the best place for your light, if that makes sense, and maybe we can do another video on that. All right, Robert writes, slings, single point or 2-point. We've talked about this in the past, 2-point sling for sure. Single point is very simple. The downside is if you have to transition, it just kind of flops around. So I prefer a good quality padded 2-point sling or a good quality 2-point sling. There's just a lot of versatility you can do with it. You can have the simplicity of a 2-point by just taking your arm out, so it just hangs around your neck. You have the ability to cinch it down tight. You have the ability to transfer it to your back if you had to go to a medical aid, a handcuffing situation, just 2-point all the way. All the way. All right, best handgun. Oh, seriously, come on now. This is like saying what your favorite flavor of ice cream is. Everybody's going to be different. Good quality handgun. Just get a good quality handgun. And that question was from Jeffrey. And our very last question is from, I think it's Tomas is how he's pronouncing it. Tomas wants to know what my favorite gun is. I don't know, man. I have a lot. I like firearms in general. I think they're pretty cool, and I don't have a good question for you. I have a few that are a little more sentimental than others, I guess, but just a good quality firearm. What I look for in a good quality gun that's going to make it something for me that's my favorite to use is it's reliable, it's accurate, and it just holds up and it's dependable. So that's kind of my thoughts. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. Let's see who our lucky winner is. Random number generator. And it looks like it is going to be 1, 2, 3. Eric Scherer. So Eric, the guy who made the nice comment, you're going to be winning the nice prize. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys are sending your questions to the QA at gunsandtactics.com. We'll put a link right down there. The address will be on the screen. Otherwise, you can leave a comment. But Eric, I will be getting in touch with you. We do have, I think, your contact info, and I'll figure out how to get your prize pack to you. I don't exactly know what it is. I apologize. It's been a hectic month, but nonetheless, we'll take care of you for sure. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please hit the share button. Tell your friends about it. We want to see the channel grow. I would love to increase our subscriber base on YouTube. It really does mean a lot when you do hit that share button. Hit the like button, leave a comment, interact with us. We love to talk. I love to interact with you guys on comments. Or again, shoot us an email at theqa.com and follow us on all social media and check out our webpage, gunsandtactics.com. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you in future videos. Have a great day.